It was Halloween night, the air filled with a sense of mystery and excitement. The kitchen was dimly lit, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Orange and purple lights glowed softly, adding to the spooky ambiance. Fake spiders hung from the ceiling, their webs glistening in the dim light. Emma and Jack brought in their pumpkins, their faces lit up with excitement.
Let's carve them, Jack! This is going to be so much fun!
Emma said, her eyes shining with anticipation.
Okay, but don't blame me if your pumpkin comes alive and starts dancing around the kitchen.
Jack teased, a mischievous grin on his face. He liked to scare his little sister. Emma giggled, her laughter echoing through the room. She wasn't really scared, not with her big brother around to protect her.
Remember, make friendly faces on the pumpkins. We want to delight the trick-or-treaters, not scare them away with spooky faces.
She winked at Emma, who nodded eagerly, her mind already racing with ideas. She already had the perfect design in mind, a friendly ghost with a big smile.
All right, let's get carving. This is going to be the best Halloween ever,
Jack exclaimed, his excitement contagious. He grabbed a carving knife and held it up dramatically like a knight ready for battle. Emma laughed and picked her own pumpkin, ready to create her masterpiece. The night was just beginning and the fun was only getting started. Emma traced a pattern onto her pumpkin. She was determined to make it the spookiest one in the neighborhood. The air was crisp and the leaves rustled around her, adding to the eerie atmosphere.
I'm going to give mine a big toothy grin. It'll be the scariest pumpkin ever,
she announced with a confident smile, her eyes gleaming with excitement. As she started carving, she thought she heard something. A faint noise, almost like a whisper, made her pause. It was a soft whisper, barely audible, but enough to send a shiver down her spine.
Boo.
She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. The whisper seemed to echo in her ears.
Did you hear that? She asked, her voice trembling slightly.
Hear what? Her friend replied, looking confused and continuing to carve his pumpkin.
He said, not looking up from his pumpkin, completely engrossed in his work.
I thought I heard a ghost, she whispered, her eyes darting around nervously.
Emma whispered, her eyes wide with fear and curiosity.
There's no such thing as ghosts, silly, her friend said, rolling her eyes and laughing.
Jack said with a chuckle. Emma wasn't so sure. The whisper had felt too real, too close. But she continued carving, trying to shake off the spooky feeling. She focused on her pumpkin, determined to finish it. The pumpkin felt strangely cold beneath her fingers, almost as if it had a life of its own. She shivered but kept carving, her mind racing with thoughts of ghosts and whispers.
Mom, can we roast the pumpkin seeds?
Jack asked, scooping out the pumpkin's insides.
Of course, roasted pumpkin seeds are a Halloween tradition.
Emma carefully carved a friendly smile on her pumpkin. She didn't want to scare anyone, especially not any friendly ghosts. She placed a candle inside and lit it. The pumpkin glowed warmly.
Look at our creations, they're fantastic.
The pumpkins sat on the porch, grinning at the world.
As they admired their work, I thought I heard it again.
Boo.
This time Jack heard it too. He turned towards the sound, his eyes narrowed.
Who's there?
Silence. Only the rustling of leaves in the wind answered him. Emma clutched her brother's arm, a little scared.
See, I told you. Maybe it is a ghost.
Jack tried to look brave, but he felt a shiver run down his spine. After a long day of playing outside, they went back inside, their minds still buzzing with the day's adventures. They eagerly told their mom about the strange whisper they heard near the old oak tree. Mom just laughed, brushing it off as their imagination.
It's probably just the wind playing tricks on you, she said, trying to reassure them with a warm smile.
But Emma and Jack weren't convinced. They exchanged worried glances, their minds racing with possibilities. They continued carving their pumpkins, trying to focus on creating the perfect spooky faces. But they couldn't shake the eerie feeling that lingered in the air. Every creak of the old house, every gust of wind that rattled the windows made them jump and glance around nervously. Even the pumpkin seeds roasting in the oven seemed to whisper and crackle, adding to the spooky atmosphere.
Maybe we should carve happy faces instead, Emma suggested, hoping to lighten the mood.
Jack nodded in agreement, thinking it might be a good idea to ward off any spooky feelings. They decided to decorate the house with friendly Halloween decorations, hoping to invite cheerful visitors and keep the spooky ghosts at bay. Finally, their pumpkins were finished. They placed them on the porch. They lit the candles inside. The pumpkins glowed with a warm, inviting light. As they stood back to admire their work, they heard it again.
Happy Halloween.
But this time, it didn't sound scary. It sounded friendly, almost playful. Emma and Jack looked at each other and smiled. Maybe it was a friendly ghost after all. The end.